Hey everybody. So I said, okay, so this is how we're going to start using this page. First, welcome to the page, the Executive's Edge. It's actually the group for the executive decision, which is my consulting firm that came about in about 2019. Uh, and I've been using it off and on the last 3 years that I have been business coaching for these two amazing organizations. I've had the opportunity now. This is year three. I think I've had well over, for facts, 600 business coaching sessions within the last 3 years with businesses in New York City, New Jersey, Atlanta, Alabama, Houston, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm super ecstatic to be doing what I'm doing. I love what I do. And I love being able to share knowledge with other businesses. So, those that know that I have been an entrepreneur now for 32 years. I am a third generation entrepreneur, meaning grandparents, parents, and now me. So I would say combined over the course of the family, we've had about four gas stations, three soul food restaurants. I'm sorry, two soul food restaurants. Let's say four gas stations, two soul food restaurants, beauty salon, the real estate investment company, my dad's remodeling company, his logistics company. As you know, my dance school turns 25 years old this year. My retail stores turned 12 years old. Lure turns 12 this Friday exactly. Actually, this Thursday. Just celebrated 11 years with the gift of glam. And of course, everyone is licensed insurance brokers, investment specialists, so on, so forth, the church, everything else. We've had a ton of businesses and we have even more businesses within the family. So but I love coming from um, a family that everyone is empowering the next generations to go further. So here I am. I come in. I'm also first generation college graduate. First, on my mom's side of the family to receive a 4 year degree, and I believe the second on my dad's side of the family to receive a 4 year degree. And I've gone on to do complete two master's programs. So, master's in a sustainable entrepreneurship from an Ivy League. And then I have an MBA in information systems from a university here local in Chicago. So, I have a lot of knowledge underneath my belt that I don't typically talk about, but now it's time to talk, especially because I'm excited about what it is that I'm doing with these other businesses on the East Coast and down South. So it's like, hey, Chicago people know who I am, but they don't really know who I am in a way. I'm excited that Lure has been shipping basically domestic and international the last 11 of the 12 years, actually the last 12 years, because we started out online. So I'm not new to any of this. I went through a few things. I've had two children, was ejected from a car, and a whole bunch of more stuff. But nothing has changed. I'm still getting phone calls. Everyone know the tier one global consulting firm that actually reached out to me for a project. My largest client to date for the public sector is a multi-billion dollar company. And then for the private sector, you all know I love what I do for my country. So, anywho, without further ado, one of the things that I'm noticing across the board with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially with the COVID entrepreneurs, because it's a ton of COVID entrepreneurs that are around here. Um, One thing that I'm noticing is that no one is going back to the basics and completing a business plan. Now, I could tell you the long story as I tell all my clients. Actually, let's get into it. So, long story short, I'm long-winded. But long story short, my very first business plan was written in undergrad because my dance school was just turning 10 years old. My professor at the time was none other than current U.S. Senator, or U.S. Representative uh, Jonathan Jackson. He was my professor at Chicago State University. And He helped me write my very first business plan. Now, this business plan turned out to be about 200 pages long, and it kind of irritated me. Yeah, we'll just say it irritated me that it was so long. But it was so much work that I had to put into that project, and it made me realize that because of the blueprint that I created, I was able to pick it up, put it down. If anything was to change, I knew what was going to happen within the business because of the predictions I had made. Yes, sometimes things veered against course and it came back, but they always came back around and it worked out for the best. So, with that being said, the business plan. I'm sorry, buddy. Give me a second. Go put it on charge and I'll help you in a minute. Okay. Anywho, with that being said, I'm learning that a lot of people are not completing business plans nowadays because some of the excuses that I've heard, they're too long, they're outdated. People used to pay me between 500 and 3,000 to complete their business plans. And I had to stop because I'm like, wait, these are all of my predictions for your business. Sometimes people didn't even have data or projections in their business. And I was just basically doing a business plan for whatever kind of business that it was off of research alone. And if you didn't know, I am a researcher also, and I've been doing it for a very long time. So I just made 40. Any everything that I've been doing, I've been in the business world now since I was 8 years old. So yeah, a lot of tips, a lot of tricks of the trade. But anywho, let's get into this one pager. The reason why I created this one page business report, and I've done research, I've done a lot of comparisons to shorter business plans. I did this to get you started, but it also doubles over as a pitch if you wanted to go ahead and use it, but it's just 8 steps. I'm like, let's go ahead, let's get the baby started, start them off so that way they can lay some type of foundation for their business. So on those cold days or the days that they didn't get any sales or no clients came through or somebody requested an overdraft their account because they wanted their money back, I said, let me go ahead and give them something to get them going. 8 steps, simple. Jot this down. Number one, problem. Every business is started because of a problem. Either you saw something you didn't like, you saw something you liked, but it could have been better. If it was a restaurant, something didn't taste right, the ambience was off, something happened that made you wanted to start this business. I don't want to hear, I just wanted to leave something for my grandkids. No, it's something that happened. It's something that you didn't see out there and you wanted to create it to bring it to your neighborhood, or whatever the case may be. That's number one. What's the problem? Number two, solution. If you know me, yeah, I'll listen to your problem sometime, but I like solution. I'm a solution driven type person. So tell me your problem. Let's come up with a solution. The reason you came up with this business was because blah. But look, this is the solution to fix it. So, yes, there was a problem with X, Y, and Z, but ABC is going to fix it. Step three, business model. What is your business model? How are you making money in this business? Layman's terms. So they tell me, they're like, oh, we love you, Coach and Tessa. You're the practical business coach. Yes, I coach coaches. It's like, hmm, how do you make money in your business? I've learned a lot of businesses don't know how many streams of income they have within their one business. They ain't telling you when they say you need 7 streams of income to be successful. Yeah, you can have multiple businesses, but how many streams of income do you have within this one particular business? How many ways can you make money underneath this business model? Put it there. I want you to think long and hard. So if you got a product line, every business, I don't care what you do, every business should have a product line. If you're a service business, if you're a consulting business, if you're doing conferences, if you're doing one-on-ones, if you're doing workshops, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're selling makeup, if you're selling Tupperware, if you're selling knives, if you're selling life insurance, how many different products are you selling within your business? And what's the price range? You need that. So jot all of that down under number three. Number four is where people lose it at. I'm learning a lot of people don't know what a target audience is. No, an age of 18 to 54 is not your target audience. That's the demographics. Your target audience basically is you being able to sit down, and the way I explain it to people, if you had a pack of crayons or coloring pencils, you should be able to draw out what these people look like. Simple as that. If you can't draw them, you don't know who you're servicing. When I told you all about the lady that walked into my store in Yorktown and she had on a houndstooth coat with a paisley print blouse with a oh my God, she was so bright and colorful and was mixing patterns and prints and fabrics. And I was like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? You are my unicorn. And she said, oh my God, I came in here because your window looked just like me. That's how you find a niche, your target audience. She found me because of the bright colors, the fabrics, the textures, and the prints. And we spoke the same language. Draw them out. That'll help you define a little bit easier who you are searching for. That's number 4. Number 5, simple terms, promotions. Where are you talking to these people at? So, of course, social media is really big. But tell people you got to know somebody outside of social media. Facebook went cold dead for a day, and people picked, frantic, and freaked out. You got to keep in mind, you still got email marketing, you still got text messaging, you still got what I call guerrilla marketing, door to door. If you have a brick and mortar, my mother used to always say you should be able to take a flyer and plug a door at least a mile going north, east, south, and west of the location of your store. Drop a mailer in the zip code. The U.S. Postal Service, all you got to do is give them your flyer, give them the zip code you want them to drop the mailer, drop it. Put up a billboard in your area. Don't go pull up a billboard 3 towns away. Do that later on. Right now, you want to grab the people that's closest to you and let them know that you're in the community. That's promotions. That goes up underneath number 5. Don't forget door to door, hanging up in other businesses, networking, all of those different ways. Just sit down and think about different ways that you can reach your client, your niche client, your target audience. Number 6 is my favorite storyline. Hold on for a second, sweetie. It's off. Number 6 is my favorite storyline. Why number 6 is my favorite? As when I was a chief marketing officer for United Women in Business, I was the VP of marketing and communications. I was invited down to Google's headquarters. And I was actually invited to a whole lot of stuff. The CMO, top C-level executives, networks. It was amazing. But anyway, sitting amongst these people in this room at Google headquarters, one of the things that stuck with me during Google's presentation was when they asked a question: when was the last time you saw Yahoo and Bing? Everybody in the room was like, you know, when have you saw Yahoo and Bing? They're still around, but they're not who you frequent. Why not? Because what happens is this. When Google came along, Google basically did their research on their competition. Yeah, Google did research on their competition. They saw that Yahoo was the ish at one point. Bing came in and they copied Yahoo in a way, made their website extremely similar. Then you had MSN, and then I believe MSN and Bing had a baby and they meshed together. And Google came in and it was like, how can we go and be different? But then how could we get all the people? They learned during their market research on their competition that people didn't like over information. Have you ever gone into a Target or Burlington or Ross? I hate going into Ross. And everything was just out of order. I refuse to go into Last Chance because it's so chaotic and cluttered. That's what Yahoo and Bing was when Google did their research. It was cluttered. So much information that it was overwhelming. You had to leave out of the store and you couldn't take it. They learned that people like simplicity. Liking simplicity, Google is now the number one search engine in the world. One line, white background, 5 big letters that says Google in a search bar. And that's all. That's it. So number 6 basically tells you what? Learn your competition. Yes, you have competition. Even as a boutique owner coming into the business, I would say, I don't have any competition. Other small Black businesses are not my competitors. They're not my competition. They were, even though they were not who I was targeting. I never and I say never with a big NEVER, copied off of any other boutique around me. Do you know who my target was? You guessed it. The one that I met at the trade show that I talk about in my stories and when I speak. That when I was sitting there, this is the way that she and I met. She came in and that sales rep was like, I'm going to go and take her. This is what you're getting, your one box of shoes, but she's getting 17. That's who I have always looked up to. And plus, my favorite, she's an OG in the game, like 37, 40 years in. I looked up to her because I was just so amazed that she was selling $200 leather earrings. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that one day. She's more of a mentor, though, not competition. But that's you have to know who's around you. You have to see what they're doing, look to see what they're doing, study them, see how they're speaking with their clients, see what they're doing, see what their email list like. So if you have to register for their email blast list, register for it. Don't be afraid to email business. Do y'all not see how many times Bath and Body Works email y'all? Not just that. I could have sworn semi-annual meant twice a year. Semi-annual to Bath and Body Works is like twice a month. Hope they forget and send them another email so they can come get these candles. You see what I'm saying? So learn your business, learn your competition, see what they're doing right. If you're looking at a multi-million, I tell people look at a multi-million billion dollar company, look at a six-figure one, look at one that's right there with you because they all have something unique that they bring to the table that you can grow and learn from. Number 7 is my favorite, and we're almost done. I know y'all hear the kids in the background. It's the first video, but I'm trying to tell her I'll be right there, buddy. This is the first one. I'm like, I gotta put something up here because, yeah, it's some stuff coming through the pipeline I want to share. But number 7 basically is one of the favorites because I'm learning that a lot of businesses don't know their numbers. And I ain't talking about how much money you made. That used to be the thing. Businesses didn't know how much money they made. They still don't know. When I say they still don't know, I literally had about 8 coaching calls today, and I can tell you on one hand how many knew how much they made. This is a problem because the work that I do, 400,000 applications come through in a month span for businesses starting across the country. Yeah, 400,000. I didn't say 40, 400, 4,000. I said 400,000 plus in a month span. And I see this and I'm like, I bet 400,000 of them going to be out of business by the end of the month. Sure enough, that's typically the case. People open businesses, but they don't have blueprints, they don't have leadership, they don't have the skills that's needed. All they know is they starting the EIN and they're building business credit because some tax person told them they can go and get some business credit and a Mercedes Benz with the business tax thing. So now they got a business and that's what they telling everybody they got a business. That's not the case, guys. That's not the case. Stop doing that too because they watching that. I'm telling you, they watching it. But anywho, back to what I was saying. Study the businesses. Don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. Be creative and flow with it. But back to number 7, the numbers. So what I always tell people when we're doing financial projections, let me hurry up too because the video is getting long. But financial projections work like this. You're supposed to be sent down in third quarter or fourth quarter, looking at your incoming year, and you're supposed to be able to say this. Based off of this year, and if you're just starting, it's based off of the business plan or what you guess or what you're hypothesizing that you want to do for the incoming year. You want to say, how much money do I think I want to make for the incoming year? Mommy. Or if you already started business, I may tell her I'll be there in a minute, buddy. I made 50,000 this year. You should be able to use your blueprint and double that for the incoming year. This is why it's important to follow a strategy that you're creating a business, your blueprint, which is your business plan, so that way you can get to where you want to be. Number 7 goes like this. 7A, how much money do I want to make? 7B, how much money is it going to take me to make what I want to make? And 7C, how much money do I have to make in total? If you want to make $100,000 for the year, Just understand that's about, I think, 8,400 a month, I want to say. 83, 30, 12 divided by 100,000. It's about 83.33, somewhere up in there. Don't quote me, pull out a calculator, do the numbers yourself. But if you're going to make 100,000 for the year, just understand you got to make a little bit over 8,000 a month to hit 100,000. But then don't forget to calculate in how much it's going to take you to make it. So if you say you got to spend $1,000 in a month, that's what, 12,000 for the year. Don't forget to add that to 100,000. So now you need to make 112,000. Okay, stop doing what you're doing to hurt yourself, okay, buddy? Thank you. My 3-year-old gets into a whole lot. If you have a 3-year-old, yeah. Anywho, um, the budget. It's very important to budget in the business. However much you're going to have to spend throughout the course of the year, make sure that you have that number down. If you're in a boutique, don't go to shows or don't start buying blind stuff. Create a board. Create a board, a storyline of what you want to do in your business and stick to it. Leave a little room for error to buy something that you just think you have to have, but you need to break it down. So if you're going to do shirts, dresses, jackets, pants, jeans, you break it down. For a coach, if you're going to do 5 conferences, that's crazy. But if you're going to do 5 conferences, 3 workshops, 25 one-on-ones, break it down. What you're going to do with the prices there so you can come up with 100,000 for the end of the year. But if you're gonna need a suit, power suit to do that, or if you're gonna need a hairstyle and something fly to sell the clothes, calculate that into the budget too. So that way you're not going over and you're still on task to hit what it is you need to hit. Keep in mind, a lot of corporations, if you stay under budget for the month, that's how they get bonuses. So do yourself like that in your business. If you stay under your budget for the month, give yourself a bonus going into the next month. Incentivize it for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure you put it down in the future projections for tax purposes too. So you can be like, yep, we already wrote this off. This coming off at tax time at the end of the year. It was wrote into our future projections for the year. And then last but not least, how much is it going to take you. So if 8,300 is what you need to make to hit 100,000 and you need $1,000 in the budget. 93.33 is the number that you need to hit in order to hit and stay on task for the year with your goals. When I used to work at Best Buy, that morning meeting in undergrad that we would have going in, it's the rah-rah meeting, but it's, hey, we need to hit 72,000 today. So what we gonna do to hit 72,000 today? We gonna sell 15 big screens, about 25 Apple computers, 70 CDs. This what you got in digital media cameras. Make sure you upsell it. We need y'all selling them warranties because we need to do 72,000 in a day. You have to pull out the big guns. Now, this goes on and on and on, but this, just keep in mind, this plan that I'm giving you is just a basic one to get you started. And we can go deeper as I post more and more of these videos. And hopefully they get shorter. And hopefully maybe I'll start doing them when my kids are asleep. Because apparently, no, I'm not going to turn that phone on you, buddy. But apparently, anyway. And then last but not least, number 8, be honest with yourself, but just understand that you need to know how much it's going to cost you to run your business. Don't go into this thing blind. If you want to open up a hair salon, understand you need to do some price comparison. You need to go start looking at trade shows to get product. You need to start price matching, but you need to know how much it's going to charge you to open up this business. Do not go into it blindly. Then the next thing you know, you're over budget and you can't complete the project because you did not properly do your numbers. Once you get all that set and squared away, trust me, you're going to look at this journal and you're going to be like, wow, I think I could do this because I'm creating a plan and I'm going to come back to the executive edge. And I know Tessa going to walk me through the next step. So come back next week for the next section and we're going to walk through what you need to do after that to make sure you got everything done. Grab a business journal. If you don't have one, I might drop some in the link below that you can go ahead and order. and I'll ship you out one. Or if you see me out and about, just pay for it and we can do a grab and go and you grab it from me. But other than that, welcome to the Executive Edge. I think you're gonna like it here, especially if you're in business. If you're not in business, I'm gonna have to put you out. But yeah, let's get it. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Drop some comments down there if you have any questions, if you want to add anything to it. And I will be getting guests, so past and present business owners, be ready. Let's get ready to share. Talk to you later. Good night. Bye.